I try. The women are the lotus blooms. Have you ever seen a lotus flower in its actual element? All right. If you pull it up, if you ever pulled up a lotus flower, underneath the pad, underneath the lily pad, all these dangling roots and mud and dirt and grime and grit. But at the top is this beautiful, fantastic, feminine flower. That's the women here on this channel. We've not all arrived. In fact, what we're doing is we are rooting ourselves. We are rooting ourselves right now. The changes in the evolution of who we are to become. You know, I said this on the last live that all that you are to become, you are already. And I say you are already because I go in and out of, AAVU. But when I said everything that you are to become, you are already. Okay? But that is a exploration. That is a refinement. That is a knocking out some of the stones, some of the pieces that are ragged, rigid, that don't belong. Okay? We are lotus flowers here in this channel, and we have not yet arrived. And that's the beauty of this channel. The beauty of this channel is that we allow grace to happen. And we accept you as you are right now, understanding that you are becoming. Okay? There's no fun at already arrived. The fun is at the becoming. We are becoming here on this channel. You don't have all the answers, Sway. Houseway, we don't have all the answers. I'm just an old lady waving my elder flag and sharing the knowledge that I've gathered on my spiritual journey, on this journey that I've been on since I was 19 years old and ain't getting off anytime soon. Hence why I don't do collaborations on YouTube or all of those things that could grow the channel fastest, because I'm still on this thing that I call self evolution. Okay, I'm not to be put on some sort of pedestal as some sort of expert. I'm simply waving my elder flag, okay, and sharing the wisdom that I've learned on this journey. I'm just sharing the wisdom that I've learned on this journey. And so we're all allowed the mud that we are underneath here on this channel. Because if it was a channel of experts, then you wouldn't be allowed that mud, okay? You wouldn't be allowed to come as you are. You wouldn't be allowed, you wouldn't be allowed your braids, or you wouldn't be allowed your nails, or you wouldn't be all that other nonsense that has nothing to do with femininity, okay? We are allowed grace here on this channel. And because we are allowed grace here on this channel, go ahead and pull up the book, because that's what we're talking about today. Talking about grace. And why it's necessary. Because your bloodline, understanding who you are, is going to be the most impactful thing that you ever do on your journey. Ever do. I don't care what guru you go to, what mentor you gather. First of all, the best guru is the self, okay? There's no guru like the self. Although we should have mentors in our lives and those people that we can bounce things off, at the end of the day, you'll realize that everything that you are becoming, you had already had, right? But the mentor and the guru and so forth are supposed to help you identify those things if you have trouble identifying them yourself. But we're going to go to, do we have the book there? Return of the Divine Feminine, the chapter called Your Bloodline. I'm not going to read it all because I actually have an audio reading of it here on this channel, but I want to read the most impactful part to you guys watching. Women, learn your heritage. Research your mother, her mother's mother, and her mother. In this research, you'll find your bloodline. You'll find the energy you're working with now in this age. Your bloodline will show you why you are who you are. It will reveal to you your pedigree. Let's stop there for a moment. What is pedigree? What is feminine pedigree? What is that? What does that even mean? Are you telling me that I am going to be like my mother? A lot of us spend so much time trying to be unlike our mothers, but if we try being unlike our mothers, but if we are ever truly honest with ourselves, the darkest spaces of who we are is a mirror image of our mothers and her mother and her mother's mother. That's the way it goes. Okay? So, what is your pedigree? Your pedigree, your bloodline, where you come from. The new book that I have coming out. Oh, I was actually about to spill the beans. Well, I'm spilling it to my tribe members. You guys know there's a book coming out in July, but you didn't know what it is. But there's a chapter in there talking about uh, it goes deeper into pedigree and bloodline and how important bloodline is and what was bloodline marriages and why do people only marry people of a certain pedigree and what does that mean and all that. So but I want you to understand that bloodline is just not important as it was before because of wealth building and all that stuff. No, pedigree and bloodline it is going to express the energy that you are working with today. If you are struggling on your feminine journey, take a look at your bloodline. If you're having some issues understanding or loving yourself, take a look at the women in your bloodline. That is what this chapter is telling you. Bloodline, pedigree is super, super important. And once you are armed with those tools, you'll give yourself the grace. You'll give yourself some grace. You'll say, oh my gosh, I've been blaming myself this entire time. But this stuff is coming with me. This is stuff from way back where, okay? You will allow yourself some grace once you understand your pedigree, once you understand your bloodline, okay? It says here, back to the book, your pedigree is more important than you know. Your pedigree or your bloodline will reveal not only genetic markings, okay? Such as, well, you know what genetic markings are, okay? Or family characteristics, whether desirable or otherwise, but it can reveal behavioral traits, okay? And serve as a mirror to reveal if there is an energetic stain on the feminine energy in your bloodline. What does energetic stain mean? The energy that you carry with you today, darling, is a collective, energetic movement. So when I show up to a room and I walk in the room, I'm not just showing up as Karima McGee. Absolutely not. I can't just be myself, okay? Showing up completely as myself. But when I show up with the family or the shoulders that I stand on, that's a much more powerful movement. So when I show up to the place, okay, I show up and I walk through the door. There are a few ancestors that have already preceded me, like the spirit energy of my Aunt Shell, who you don't want to mess with, darling, okay? Who will cut you at your knees if you messed with her niece. She's coming before me. Okay? And the spirit and gentleness of my Aunt Jeanette. Ooh, don't mess with her niece. Her darling Karima. Oh, she's coming before me. Okay? Oh, my cousin Salam. Don't you mess with his cousin Karima. These people are walking before me. Both men and women in this case I'm talking about, okay? But according to the book, we're talking about the women on your bloodline, but I'm speaking so you can get a better understanding of what I mean by why your bloodline is so important, okay? When I walk up in the place and they say they felt me before I came, they felt my ancestors who were making way for me. They were opening up the doors for Karima to walk through. And then the sense of pride I show up with is the strength and energy of my mother. And the spirit of my grandma who took no mess. Okay? And her mother, okay? Who was born in a time when they put mulatto on your birth certificate as a way to make you feel less than who you are as a human being, okay? So I am walking in with all of that energy. So are you going to feel me before I come? Hell yeah, you're going to feel me. And you're going to feel me when I leave. And that's because I understand the strength in my bloodline and I operate in that. And that's what I want. That's what I want you guys to get out of that chapter, okay? Your bloodline is more important than you know. Use the energy of those who came before you, okay? You are not just you. You are a collection of folks, okay? And I think that's where I'm going to go next. It says your bloodline is sacred no matter its fault. So even in your bloodline, if you find out that there were, let's say there were unmarried women in your bloodline, and maybe you're the first married woman, or maybe you've not been married, but you don't understand that none of the women in your family were ever married. That's also an energy that's following you as well. And we'll do a video on how do you deal with that energy? What do you do with the energy that's collected in your bloodline? How do you handle it? Especially if it's not the kind of energy that you want to work with or operate here in your physical. But you can also change the game for those who are to come behind you, right? So, even if you find fault in your bloodline, you still have to respect it, okay? Every cell in your body has a memory of each person from your bloodline stored within it. That means you're literally walking with your ancestors every day. Got a little overwhelmed. Ooh. I mean, think about that. I mean, tell me, I'm walking with my mother every day? Then why am I afraid to walk in buildings, or why am I afraid to walk in meetings? Why would I ever be afraid if my mother is walking with me every day? I have nothing to be afraid of. If you understand your bloodline, that kind of confidence will follow you, okay? Once you understand it. That means you're literally walking with your ancestors every day. And because of the way nature designed it, your DNA is a collection of people. You are not just you, beloved. You are many. Every day you face the world energetically and genetically, you're doing so through the eyes of your grandmother. The nose that sits on your face is that of her mother. The high cheekbones are that of her mother. And yes, that face of yours is a collection of faces that you are facing the world with that face of yours every day. Understand that is a collection of faces, darling. It is not your own. This face that you are looking at here on YouTube land, okay? Number one, there's makeup on it, so don't be fooled. All right. But outside of my mascara, my lashes, and this gray stuff on my eyes, okay, that was supposed to be matched under this here. Outside of, you take all of that away, okay? Hold on. Let's get in more. Can we get a clearer? Let's block out the light for a moment. I want you to get a clearer understanding of my actual face. Oh boy. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Strip me of all of that. This nose is not my nose. It's the nose of my mother's mother. Okay? These cheekbones, okay, that oftentimes get me asked the question, are you from Haiti? Okay? And I'm like, why do you say that? I get that. I've been getting that for years. As I have so many Haitian friends, simply off the fact that they thought I was Haitian. Okay? Because of the cheekbones. I didn't even know that was a thing. All right? But those cheekbones that you look at and you say, those are Kareem. These are not Kareema's. These are my grandmothers and her grandmothers. Same goes true for you. Once you start understanding the strength in your bloodline, number one, you will give yourself some grace. You will give yourself some grace. And giving yourself some grace, or allowing yourself some grace, is to recognize that your roots, the roots of the lotus flower, runs deep. Okay? The roots run deep. And because the roots run deep, there might need to be some cleaning up that you might have to do. Some recognizing, some understanding, some adaptation. Okay? That is what you want for yourself. Please understand that femininity is nothing without true feminine power. So you can spray all the perfume on that you want. You can do all of those things that they tell you is feminine. But here on this channel, we are going to allow you grace. Allow you grace so that you can understand that your environment matters, how you grew up matters, whether or not you had a destructive or a productive mother matters, whether or not you had a mother, it matters. All of those things matter, but you have the power to rearrange and to change and design the life that you want. But that requires you to what we call Sankofa, to go back and fetch it, to go back and get it. Sankofa, go back and fetch, go back and get, go back and look at who you are. Understand who you are. The purpose of the video that I did with the live with my tribe members was for me to give every woman watching that grace, because the world doesn't want to give you grace. They want to call you out for all of your wrongdoings. They want to pull up all of the things that you do wrong. That your nails are too long. That you're wearing the color green on your nails. That you have braids which are unprofessional. Or your dreadlocks are unprofessional. The tattoo in the middle of your forehead is unprofessional. Listen, I've had this for 25 plus years. I've never had a problem getting a corporate job, getting a contract, because it is what is coming from you that is your power. The video that I did the other day, the whole purpose of that was for you to understand why you may be who you are now. What back then could have affected you back then that's still with you now. Sankofa, go back and fetch it. Fix it. Until next time, be well. And I will see you, my lovely tribe members, on the next upload. Until next time, be empowered. I wish I could sing, because that's what I'm feeling like. Ooh, be inspired and be well. Bye bye.